You can come. We can get them after.
You get lucky, you get Sarah.
Yeah, yeah. And we'll go to. I'm not sure where they go to some special place. I'll find out. It's right next door.
So we can get Sarah in the other room as well?
If you want to request her separately, yes.
I requested it Chris before the game.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, the one thing I didn't read before was make sure you mute your micro or your cell phones. Even the moderator had to go off in one of these earlier press conferences. We fired him and got a whole nother guy. So no pressure.
They said we get like a pass to get out of the garage. What is that? Any of you drive to know the answer to that?
Any chance you know the answer to that?
Of course. They give you a microphone for a reason. No. The press coordinators out in front can tell you where to get the parking passes. Validated. Were you here when I read my statement? If you needed it. If you haven't devoted it to memory just yet. Really? Well, come right back. I'll be doing it 4 more times today. I've been told the players are on their way, if that helps anybody. Yeah, running it off. You're down here, Coach. Hi, Coach Morin. How are you today? Congratulations on the win. The winning coach is going to make an opening statement, if she has one.
Sure.
And then we're going to go to the student athletes. So a reminder to raise your hand. We'll get a microphone brought to you. And on the Zoom call, make sure you raise your hand. We'll get you in. Questions for the student athletes right off the bat. Coach, your opening statement.
First of all, we're excited that the tournament is here. Excited to get the first game under our belt. Want to start by giving Michigan State just a whole lot of credit for how they came out and how they shot the ball there in the first half. They've dealt with a lot of adversity with Susie obviously not being on the bench for some time. I think Dina's done a tremendous job. But that is a well-coached team, and I thought that they were terrific, especially in the first. Halftime came at a good time for us, really just to sort of collect our thoughts and also make some adjustments, not, I guess, strategically just as much as our minds. I thought we were much better in the second half. I want to point out Chloe Moore McNeil, who I said to our group was just tremendous. Her stat line was very impressive today, and her defense is something that we certainly count on. But give our kids credit for the resiliency that they showed, especially when we were playing from behind. Just really proud of how they handled themselves, and I think we're just happy to get the first win out of the way, because I think the first game, I believe the first game in tournament play is always the most important.
Okay, thank you. You got any questions in the room for the student athletes?
Sarah, who's all here supporting you today, and what's that like playing in front of your family and friends?
Yeah, just a lot of my family and extended family. I mean, I'm from here, and a lot of my family lives here, so mainly just a lot of family, and then some friends throughout high school, and obviously playing in my home state, where I grew up in. It's something special, and Minnesota is obviously like a big part of where I'm from and where I grew up, so it's definitely special playing in my home state. So yeah.
Hi, Sarah. Have you played at Target Center before?
No. When we went to state, we played at Williams, so I've never played here.
Okay. Can you talk about finding your three-point shot? I think you made your first one, missed a couple, then looked remarkably confident after that.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of sticking with having confidence in my shot, and obviously I've put a lot of work in to, pass up shots when I'm open, so I think that's just the biggest thing, is staying confident and trusting in my shot, and eventually kind of showed there in the second half too.
Yeah, Mackenzie, you were obviously very effective there in the first half, and then in the second half when they were kind of a bit more aggressive defending you, you still were able to score some points and open up your teammates. How were you able to stay effective even when they kind of changed how they were guarding you?
Yeah, just being patient, seeing what the defense was giving me, looking for the kickouts, because I know when they collapse it'll be there. So I would just say just being patient and reading what the defense is trying to do.
For either of you, what does it say about Indiana's ability to be able to come back and keep the composure for the whole game, to be able to pull out the win?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're not proud of how we came out in that first half. I don't think any of us are, but the fact that we were able to kind of weather the storm a little bit and keep our foot on the pedal, keep chipping away at the hole we dug ourselves was really special. But that's not going to fly down the stretch here in this Big Ten tournament, so we got to learn from it. We got to be better. But I think it's a special thing that we were able to come back from something like that.
Hi, Terry. I'm wondering. Oh, no more. I'm sorry. Okay, then I'll ask Sarah.
I had to come down on you.
Your last, yeah, your last three. I thought that was kind of the backbreaker. I know it dragged on after that, but how did it? You when you're open, you just want to shoot it, right?
The last three, yeah. No, yeah, I think she was just helping off a little in the paint on Mackenzie, and I think it was Sid just passed me in the corner and I was open. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I was just confident in the moment, thought I was open, hit the shot.
Any more questions for the student athletes in this room?
For either of you, what adjustments did you make defensively, specifically in guarding the three-pointer, to kind of slow them down after that first half they had from three?
Yeah, they were really hot from three in that first half, so just continuing to press up and guard them from there and hope that they'll miss eventually. But they were hot in that first half. They made 8 threes, which for our defense is not what we're looking for. So just continuing to get out on those shooters.
Do we have any questions for the student athletes from the Zoom call? Please raise your hand and unmute your microphone. We'll call on you. Okay, any more from in this room? Oh, here he comes. We're going with Seth. Go ahead, Seth.
Hey, this is for Mackenzie. Wanted to ask you about Sarah, maybe a little more bigger picture than just today. Obviously, she was kind of the offensive focal point when she played at Minnesota, and she kind of had to take on different roles at Indiana. Just how have you seen her kind of adapt to Indiana's style and accept those different roles this season?
Yeah, I've always said for Sarah to make the decision that she did to come here is a very mature decision, and it shows that she just wants to win and she's willing to do whatever it takes, whether she's coming off the bench, whether she's starting, she's willing to do whatever it takes, and I think that speaks volume of her character, just her willingness to defend, her willingness to hit open shots has been really special to see, and I'm glad she's a Hoosier.
Any more questions from in here? Oh, one more here.
Sarah, had you been to games at Target Center before, like professional games, and what was that experience like? What are your memories, I guess, of playing here or seeing this place before?
Yeah, I actually watched the Lynx for about like 8 years playing here. I saw their championships too, so yeah, I've been around definitely the Target Center quite a few times. It's definitely special, and this is my first time playing here too, so yeah, it was fun and a good experience. Obviously, I'm happy it's in Minneapolis.
Going once? All right, here we go. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
If anybody has additional questions for Sarah Scalio, we're going to take it to the breakout room.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
When you are.
Questions in here? You can walk right across there. You're all right. The only one, though.
Hi, Coach. Congrats on the wins.
Thank you.
Mac addressed this, but I wanted to ask you, how do you balance like the elation of winning with the early struggles? Because you may not get away with that against Michigan State. You do, who's a good team, but obviously against Iowa or Ohio State or anybody in the NCAA tournament past the first round going forward, you may not get away with getting down 10 points. So how do you
Right.
make sure to balance that elation with not, getting too high, knowing that you can't always get away with that
Sure.
against better
Well,
teams?
I do think this, the first game in tournament play, it just seems like, we started off slow. We did not, come out. We did dig ourselves a little bit of a hole there, but I did anticipate us getting going. I didn't think it would take till halftime, but or after halftime, but you can't get away with it, whether it's Iowa, whether it's anybody in the Big, and moving forward, it's a lesson learned for our players. Mac said it. They realize that they were flat And they realized that in order to win championships, in order to advance in the NCAA tournament, that there's a very thin line, right? And today was a great lesson for us. So hopefully we learned a lesson there, and tomorrow our start will be, I anticipate, a whole lot better.
Coach, whether it be the three-point shooting or the 9 first-half turnovers or even getting beat on the boards, what were the kind of adjustments that you made during halftime to limit all 3 of those and turn things around?
It wasn't schematically, we did ice some ball screens there down the stretch, but we needed to fix our minds. That was it. We just needed to fix our attitude. We needed to fix our minds. As I said, I thought we sleptwalked in the first quarter, came out slow, and was uncharacteristic of our basketball team. And so that was the adjustment at halftime, was to wake up.
Hey, Coach, can we get an update on Keandra Brown and how she's feeling and kind of what happened in that play?
Well, she got hip checked by T.T. Parks. I watched it, and as we know, she's had 2 already hip surgeries, and so she is on her way, I think, to get X-rays off site. So I don't have a lot of updates right now on her, but I can tell you this: she was in a whole lot of pain when I got out to her, and just hoping and praying for the best for KB, because she's been through a lot in her short time at IU with injuries and whatnot. Just had some bad luck, but we'll know more, I think, later on tonight.
Hey, Terry. When Mackenzie Holmes picked up her 4th foul there early in the 4th quarter, she obviously came out. She had been a lot of your offense there up to that point, but other players kind of stepped up there at the end to pull it out. What did you see, I guess, through that final 7 minutes there where Mackenzie Holmes wasn't really able to be super effective, but the other players were?
Yeah. I think you saw Yarden step up. You obviously saw Sarah Scalia. We posted up Grace in the low block. And so, this is a balanced team. You guys know this. You covered us all year. If Mac is being doubled, which we anticipate she's always going to be doubled, then other people have to step up. And this is a mature team. It's a balanced team. They like sharing the ball, and the 15 turnovers, a little bit uncharacteristic. Grace threw, I think, airmailed 2 of them over the top. The one that Sid threw out of bounds, they're just uncharacteristic of us in terms of how we handle the ball, or our lack of handling the ball and ourselves. But we've seen it throughout the entire year. I think with just different pieces, stepping up and providing scoring for us.
Coach, you talked about the change in the mindset around halftime. So when Keandra goes down, was that kind of a rallying cry at all? They really seem to come together after that.
You're right. It's interesting because you hate it so much because it's one of, and I wouldn't, wish it on anybody, whether any team, to have to watch one of those players go down. But I think it did give us a moment to sort of, because I think we went on a 7-0 run after that. And I don't know if it was a rallying cry. It was with KB. And so, but, kids are resilient, and, this group, I think, really, came together, and, we love KB, and this is a group that has, their chemistry has been off the charts, and so, certainly there was probably some discussion on, being worried, but also wanting to take care of the business, that we had in front of us, and so, yeah, but I think it, maybe the pause was good for us in a weird kind of way to sort of settle in and start getting our minds where they needed to be.
Do we have any questions from the Zoom audience?
Thank you, guys.
Oh, we got one here. You almost got out. Very close. Zach.
Sorry, Terry.
Hey, Zach. You're good. Yep.
I wanted to ask, a lot of people asked about kind of the beginning of the game, but just what did it say about the way your team handled the end? It was such a chopped up final couple minutes, a couple players foul out, have to make a ton of free throws. handling kind of not
Yeah.
letting the weirdness of that game kind of throw them off?
Well, again, you know, we just chalk it up to the resilience, but also the maturity. I mean, we got 2 calls there on threes that were just, as you said, choppy, weird, all of it. But you know, I thought our kids tried to keep their composure. Sorry, I got to fly up here. They kept their composure though, and we were just trying to get to the finish line. And you know, we had a couple opportunities where we could bring them over and just continue to remind them, just, you know, give them 2s. We're not willing to give up 3s. And so you know, give our kids credit for just really keeping a cool mind out there when things did they did get a little funky down the stretch.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm going to ask you about Sarah. I don't know if people already have, but she really had a good overall game. It wasn't just her threes today. She was terrific.
She's been terrific.
Yeah, I mean, she's really been a big addition to your team. Like, is this what you expected
No question. Yeah, I mean, and Sarah, you know, was you know, I get this too. One of the dilemmas that we have is that we feel like we have 6 starters. Sarah being one of those, and you know, I think Max said it well. I mean, she's just been terrific at. We talked about sacrifices that were going to have to be made with this team because you know, they have all come from different institutions, whether it was Sid, whether it was Sarah, where they were starters and played a bunch of minutes. And so, you know, she has just handled herself in such a beautiful kind of way. And, you know, she works. She is a worker. She's in before, she stays after. And so I am not confident. I am not surprised when she talks about her confidence level, because that's you know, your work is where you get that, and that kid is a worker. And I would say this: all of us, including myself, our staff, you know, her teammates, when that thing goes up, if she misses, we're surprised. She's such a great competitor, but also a lethal shooter, and we're, as Max said, we're super happy that she's a Hoosier.
Any other questions for the coach in here?
Thank you, guys.
We'll get rid of the flies.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, Brian.
Megan, thanks again for finding my coat. I needed that so bad.
Yeah. We could brand that Big Ten fly swatter.
No, I debated whether to ask, but I've seen her do that before. I think it just banged her knee into the. Yeah. Yeah, I bet she's played. I was gonna say, I'm guessing if she were serious, they wouldn't have brought her to press availability. No, Keandra's the one. Well, I know, but I'm just saying, one can cost you a national champion.
All right. Once again, we'll be going winning coach. I'm sorry. The coach will be giving an opening statement. Then we'll be going questions for the student athletes. Please raise your hand, and a mic will be brought to you. Raise your hand on the Zoom call, and we will get to you as soon as we can. Welcome back, Coach.
Thank you.
Your opening statement.
Sure. No, hard-fought game. Love the way we started the game. Just, again, very aggressive, you know, kind of consistent with what we've been doing in our game plan. Hit a few bumps in the road along the way. And, again, I want to credit Indiana. Indiana's a very good basketball team, and they showed their mettle tonight, what they're made of. Obviously just very solid. But, again, the start was good. Along the way, we missed several layups. We gave up some open three. I thought those were probably two of the biggest factors for us, is missing some layups that would have either kept us in the lead or kept a little bit of a cushion, or could have got us back into striking distance. And then some of those open threes that we gave up 12 made threes, and that certainly was not what we wanted to do and talked about. So again, I thought those things hurt us. But overall, very, very proud of this team's grit and their effort and their fight. Again, I think they showed who they are and what they're made of, our team, and we're very, very proud of them for that. Obviously, some technical things, some tactical things that we want to clean up, but I will tell you this, you can't fall, all you can ask for is 100% of people's best, and I think we got that from our team today in terms of their effort level, so I'm proud of them for that.
Okay, do we have any questions for the student athletes in the room? Does anybody one?
This is for either one of you. The first half, you guys started off like a house of fire, 8 3-pointers, and then things changed a little bit in the second half. What did they do differently to defend you at the line or at the arc?
I don't think they did anything differently. It was more so us. I think we know how to put ourselves in position to get good shots and do certain things. So I think it's more so just us and our decision making. I think we get the shots that we want to get, and we emphasize that in practice and in the game plan. So it was more so a us thing, I would say.
I agree.
Any other questions in the room? Do we have any questions from the Zoom call? We got Nick Lundberg. Nick, go ahead.
Kamara, you had 32 today. Seemed like you were just on fire throughout the whole game. Could you speak to like what was working for you and just how you were able to be so dominant out there?
First of all, I always go back to this, this time last year I couldn't run. I really struggled with my injury, so I see all of this as a bonus, and God is so good, and that's all I can say. My teammates are amazing at getting me the ball, and we got defensive stops, which was opened up the open court and getting them fast breaks. So we were getting stops, and then that was helping the momentum. So when you're playing good defense and your teammates are getting you the ball, I'm just able to kind of be myself and be that scorer that, I've been. And so a lot of credit to God, first of all, credit to our grit on a defensive end because, we have to get stops in order to get out in the open floor. So, I'm just grateful to be here, and God is good, man. And my teammates are amazing, and so that was the formula for that. Not much of me individually.
Okay, Brian Calloway.
For either of you guys, I think you guys just heard Dean talk about you guys showing kind of what you guys are made of. In your guys' mind, what do you guys feel like that you guys have shown over these last few weeks, and especially in a performance like this, and having your chances there against a team like Indiana?
Well, I would just say, you can never count us out. So many people talk about, they're playing Indiana, that's not going to be a good game, or whatever it is, They always count us out, and we're a really tough team. We don't give up. If you look at our season, our losses are within 5, 4, 3 points, to the best league in the country, ranked teams. So I'm very proud of our effort, and I love playing with these girls. I wouldn't play with anybody else. So
We got a follow-up from Nick.
This one could be for either of you guys. With everything that's gone down this season, from Coach Merchant being out to the shooting to just struggling to find consistency, now that the future is up to the hands of the people who decide for the tournament going forward, can you just describe what it's been like to be on this team and just play for this school this year?
it's not a lot. Being here for 4 years myself, you have, sorry. Sorry.
I think it's just a testament to us, like, coming together. It's we had this theme that just came about not too long ago, and it's unity of purpose. So we're a unit and we have the same purpose, and we just go with that every day. I mean, we've seen every piece of adversity you could possibly see, the unthinkable, the unfathomable. Ooh, that's a big word. Yeah, so we've seen it all, and we just take it as small as we have to take it, even as minute by minute, possession by possession, but we try to master every opportunity we get. And Coach Dean said, in a moment and no regrets, and that's just been our motto, because a lot of things have happened out of our control, and when stuff is out of your control, you have to put your focus towards the things you can control, and I think we have been a master of the controllables, and that's why coaches and, we're all proud, because we could have folded a long time ago.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Yeah, I was just gonna say, being a senior, it means a lot, and even like, you gotta play for people that are leaving on this team, and you gotta play for the university and everything we've been through there. So it just means everything, and I think it'd be a mistake not to put our team in the tournament.
Brian Calloway.
Just following up with something you guys said, the unity of purpose. When did you guys kind of adapt that kind of mentality there?
I think around the time of the shooting. I think that, yeah, it was the game after the shooting. We was playing Maryland, and you know what I'm saying, like, we just kind of needed a theme, because it's like the unthinkable literally just happens to us. Like, things that just happen and happen and happen. And, we get down 8 times, but we get up 9. And like Mo said, you know what I'm saying, it's the intangible things for this team. Like, think about where we could have been, and look where we ended up. You know what I'm saying? We don't stop fighting, and we really are just now scratching the surface of our potential. You know what I'm saying? And we had to, work through so many things that I feel like a lot of other teams didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, Coach Dean is my, 6th head coach. So it's just like stuff like that. Like, it's just constant changes. Change is inevitable, but I think we've seen it at a very high rate. You know what I'm saying? And I think, those records and statistics go into a lot of things, but on the human side, we don't quit. And we've proven that over and over. We got tough people like Mo on our team that just will not be denied, will not be outworked. And the intangibles are important, just as important as the statistics.
All right, thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Am I out or am I still?
You are here.
Good job, too. See, got it. You too.
We have gotten rid of the annoying fly that was here before.
No worry.
Just so you know, we knew you were coming.
That's all right. I love it.
Are there any questions for the coach?
Coach, this is the end of your season, likely. But how proud of you are for the team that they battled, as you said, as hard as they did? I know the players addressed this.
Yeah.
But how was it, filling in for Susie, which I'm sure was tough? How easy was it to see the players, battle right till the end? I wanted your take on that.
Oh,
as well.
no, absolutely. Thanks for the question. It was great. First of all, let me just credit our players and credit our team. They've been very supportive. They've been very receptive. We have a staff who's been outstanding, from our coaching staff, Maria and Kristen, to our support staff, every member. Everybody has been supportive. There's been a synergy within the program. And, stemming from our sport administrator, Ashton, our athletic director, Alan Haller, it's been great. I will tell you directly to your question now, to watch the growth. One of the things I said this the other day here, I believe, one of the real joys of coaching is to see growth and maturation. Winning is wonderful. Don't make no mistake. We're all in this to win. If you're not competitive, if you're not in this to win, it's hard to last very long. So that's almost a given. But one of the real joys of this profession, and the real highs of coaching, is to see growth and maturation in people, and especially in when you see it as a team. And there is no question that our team has grown and matured this year tremendously. And for that, I am extremely proud of them. And I credit them. I credit the character of them. I credit the families from whom they come. It's just been a journey that has not been without challenge, but I credit them tremendously for the people they are and the character they are. And to your last piece, we're no quit. There is not 1 ounce of quit in us. So until we see that bracket and we're not in it, we're going to prepare to play in a tournament. So I will just tell you, there is no quit in us. When we see the bracket and Michigan State's not on there, okay, season's over. But I am not conceding, all right? I am not conceding until that point.
You probably would be higher than a 9 seed in a lot of other conferences. How would you evaluate the strength of the Big Ten this year?
Oh my gosh. I think arguably, I was in the SEC for 15 years. Some of you may know that, may not. But I will tell you, and then again, we can argue this point. It's kind of like the greatest conversation. Who's the greatest, all this stuff. You're never going to solve that or never going to resolve it. But I will tell you this. If I'm a betting man, which I'm not, okay, for our compliance people, I would tell you, I would bet on the Big Ten. This year is the best conference at top to bottom. I think South Carolina is otherworldly. I mean, they're just really good. I think LSU's having a terrific season. I think Tennessee is third right now. There's some real good teams in that league. Make no shade on them whatsoever. But I will tell you, top to bottom, I will take our league against any league in the country this year. I think our league, top to bottom, has shown in non-conference play and now here in conference play and where things are, I think they've shown who we are and of what we're capable. So I think arguably it's the best league in the country, and no one's going to move me off of that.
They did not play yesterday. You guys did. Second half, did you sense that there was any bit of your leg, watching some tired legs against a fresher team?
Now, that's a good question tactically. There may have been a little, I don't think a lot, but both teams of their top 5-6 people, we play long minutes. If you look at Indiana's minutes per game play, they've got several players in the 30 and plus over. We've got a few in that. We've got a lot of people playing long minutes. I think there was a little portion where we might have experienced our press and our pressure just backed off a little bit, and I think that might have been a portion you could attribute it to that. But again, with the toughness of these young people that we have, that didn't last long, and they really rallied. Towards the end of the game there, that could have been easy. When we got down 10, that could have easily been a belly up, let's fold the tents, game over, and it was a second win. And the great Bill Russell once said, and I love this, most people don't run far enough on their first win to realize they have a second. Well, we've had to dip into that second win a couple of times, and so I think there may have been a little stretch of that, but I did notice a significant, piece of that. I think the biggest thing, you look at the quarter scoring, we had 2 scores. We had 24 in the first quarter, 27 in the fourth, and in between we hit the teens. And I think the missed shots, the layups and the missed looks that we had, that enabled Indiana to get that cushion. And again, they're awfully good, so it's hard to give them that. Yes, sir.
You've played Indiana harder than most teams this year. Even like Ohio State, Michigan, who are playing now, really struggled and got run off the floor by them. You guys, on paper, aren't as good of a team this year, but you beat them once, and you've almost beat them today and played them much harder than anybody but Illinois did in that first game. What's the secret sauce you have against IU that you've been able to be more successful against them than even teams that are ranked higher than you?
Well, if I could tell you that, there'd be a helipad with a chopper flying me to my island right now. Okay. Again, I'm gonna credit our players. Our players embrace a game plan very, very well. And in that first game, a good example, one of the things we wanted to do is we just wanted to be relentless with our full court pressure, do a lot of trapping. And again, they were without Grace Berger, so we have to say that in fairness. But I credit our players for really executing a game plan, embracing it. It's one thing to create a game plan, and with game plans, they have to be good enough that they may be effective, but simple enough to be executed. Because we can do a lot of things, but when you can overcomplicate the game, and sometimes that can happen. I'll credit our players because in that first game we forced 21 turnovers. This game we only forced 15. But essentially we tried to do the same thing. We tried to take our assets, our strength, and utilize that. So again, we know that it's going to be very hard to stand toe-to-toe and slug it out in a half-court game with Indiana. We wanted to dictate the terms of battle and try to play more pressure, more full court. So that was one thing. And then again, with our quickness, we tried to move them and drive them a little bit. So those, I guess, in a nutshell, would be the two things from a technical standpoint we tried to do. And again, the credit belongs to our players.
Do we have any questions from the room? Any questions online? Nick Lundberg, go ahead.
Coach, Kamaria just had, a fantastic game today with 32 points, 7 rebounds. Seemed like she was doing everything out there. Just from your perspective, what did you see that she was doing so well that made her have such, a dominant performance?
Yeah, thanks. I will tell you again, very simple answer. She was taking good shots. When Kamaria takes good shots, and good shots for her, and what I mean, I'm going to be very clear on that. She's open. Hit the three. Take the three. We don't care. She misses 4 straight. She's open. She's a good shooter. Take it. When she's on balance, when she attacks the rim with tenacity, she goes off 2 feet, or if she's got a blow by and there's an open basket, she elevates and goes off 1. But when she goes strong and she plays with a high level of efficiency, Kamaria has shown that she can score points. And so I think today, to your question specifically, that was what she did today. She took great shots. She attacked the basket. She took the shots when she was open. And again, she played to who she was, and that's, again, so important for any player in any team. She was exactly true to who she was.
Another question from Zoom, Brian Calloway.
Hi, Dean. Just with the way that this team has kind of come together down the stretch, how hopeful are you that there is another opportunity for this team to take the court? And how deserving do you feel like this team is as well, too?
We'd love to play, Brian, as you know, and as you heard from our players. We certainly believe that we could make a good showing. As far as the hopeful piece, I'm certainly hopeful. One of the things that's hard, and again, I'm going to make you know me, you've been around me enough now with the goofy analogies, a fight analogy, right? We're leaving it to the judges now. We didn't knock anybody out. So now it's in the judges. And when 2 fighters stand in that ring and it's been a hard-fought battle and you don't know whose hands is going to, a lot just depends on what happens to the rest of the, with the rest of the country in terms of tournament play and how the seasons end and whatnot. And then when people get in that room, a lot's going to depend on what happens. Those factors were out of our control. We told them ahead of time going into this thing, we are the masters of our own fate. We're the captains of our own destiny right now. So everything was in our hands. Well, now we've been eliminated. It is not. But I will tell you, I think this team would make a very good showing. And obviously, as we talked about a minute ago, how good this league is. This league is so good. And we've been so close against top-tier teams. Indiana, Iowa, an overtime game, on and on and on I could go. I just really believe this team is worthy and would make a good showing, but that's going to be out of our hands.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
The fly came back.